welcome back to my channel. My name is Maggie. Today I have a Pan That Palette update for you. We have 1 month left in the year to reach my final goal, but I'm really excited to share with you what I've been working on. So as a reminder, if you are just finding me for the first time today, I am working on the Soft Glam 2 palette by ABH as my Pan That palette this year. This has been my favorite travel palette for a number of years. It is now one of the older eyeshadow palettes in my collection, so my focus this year was to use as much of it up as I could, really trying to hit pan in almost every shadow. So let's go ahead and take a peek at what it looked like last month compared to this month. This is where I'm currently at. So I don't have any new pan in here, but I have been reaching in here pretty consistently, I would say. The only shade I don't have pan on is Mulberry down here, this really pretty kind of burgundy shade. As you can see, I do have a pretty defined dip there. That is where my liner brush is dipping in. I'm using it as an eyeliner most days. I didn't do it today, but most days, my goal is to hit pan on Mulberry before the end of the year. So I'm going to be focusing on this shade in December. I think if I use it as an liner most days, I can hit it. So I'll probably just keep doing that. The rest of the shades in here, I'm really happy with the progress I've made. So I've got pan on everything else. If not, I've finished these two, which is awesome. And yeah, so quick usage update on the shade Orange Soda, which is this one right here. I do have kind of pan in a funny spot in here. It's tucked up underneath there, but it's there. Anyway, Orange Soda, let's see here, used 12 times. I had 140 uses, now I have 152. Dusty Rose, this purple down here, I used 4 times. I had 62 uses, now I have 66 this year. Incense, I used 3 times. Now I'm at 123. I previously was at 120. Sultry I haven't used. Mulberry I used 8 times. It was at 30, now it's at 38, and I haven't used Noir. Now, I probably could have used Mulberry more. I ended up not bringing this palette on our Thanksgiving trip with us, so there was a week where I wasn't reaching for this at all because it was at home and I was in Florida. But that's okay. I still think I can hit pan, you know, as long as I'm consistent there. So that's my goal for the end of the year, is to hit pan and Mulberry. Then I will have hit pan in every shade, which will be really, really satisfying. And then I can declutter this at the end of the year. In addition to panning this palette, I do a companion palette. What I do is I pick a palette for 2 months, and that is my companion palette. I have a smaller makeup collection. Part of Vlogmas this year is I will be doing an updated makeup collection. So if you're interested, consider subscribing and staying tuned for that. It'll be out a little bit later this month. But right now, my companion is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. It is so reflective, so I'll try not to blind you. But I just love this palette. I did reorganize these. So these are all of the same shades from the Glam palette. They're just reorganized. I know some people will kind of like Franken palettes where they have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of the MIDI palettes from Natasha Denona and then make their own. But this is truly all of the original shades just in a different order because this is what makes my brain happy. So that's what I did. It's nice because there's holes on the back, so you can have just like a safety pin or something to pop these out. And then they're magnetic. So this is what it's looking like. I have not been keeping track of what my number of usage is for everything. I have been mixing these two, the kind of medium brown and this medium warmer kind of camel color together for my crease quite a bit. And then obviously you can see that I really like this shade. I have found that the shimmers work really well with just my fingers. I can use a brush, but I feel like I get more impact with the shimmer if I use my finger. So that's where I'm just kind of digging into these shades. I've also been enjoying this one and this one. I did kind of a deeper look when we were on vacation for one dinner, kind of like a sultry, and I went with this shade and this shade. It was super pretty. I should do it more often. I just feel like smoky eyes aren't really my go-to, but I did enjoy it. You know, it was something where I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it for dinner and then I can wash it off. So maybe I'll keep trying to play with that a little bit more, but I've loved this palette. Like I said, I haven't been keeping track of total number of usage in here, but I've been reaching for it regularly because from the Soft Glam 2, basically all of the lid shades are done. So I'm using this, which has a lot of lid shades, for December. And that was kind of strategic because I knew I should probably be done with the shimmer shades out of the Soft Glam 2 by the time we get to the end of the year. So as far as pan percentage, I do not have any new palettes that I've purchased, no new eyeshadow. I also haven't hit pan or finished anything up in the last month. I am super close to finishing up my Wet n Wild single in the shade Brulee. So once that's done, we'll have another empty, but I'm still sitting at the same pan percentage that I was at last time, which is 16.66%. And then just for the fun of it, I'll show you, I have a chart in the back of my planner that I draw out every palette I own, and then I do hashed lines, kind of like the diagonal lines to indicate when I hit pan, and then I color those or the grid space in all the way when I finish up a shade. So this is the Soft Glam 2 palette up here, and I do different colors to notate which year. So light blue is for 2024. So I will be recreating this in my planner for 2025. And I'm excited to keep this kind of trend going forward. I think it's really satisfying to visually see all of them, like what has pan, what doesn't, because this also reminds me that maybe I need to put some more effort into some of the other palettes I own in the upcoming year. So nothing new to share as far as pan percentage, but I'm really happy with the progress I've made. Like I said, my main goal is going to be hitting pan on Mulberry, the burgundy shade. I do think I can do it. I think I just need to start wearing liner every day, but that's actually not that big of a deal. I've really enjoyed that. It's a subtle liner, which is nice, but it's not as harsh as the black. So it still does a trick. It's just a little bit maybe more like daytime appropriate, I guess. I'm really enjoying that softer look. So maybe in the new year, I will also experiment with other shades. I will be doing a Pan That palette next year, so stay tuned. I'll be doing that intro in January sometime. And I think I'm going to structure it the exact same way, where I'll have one primary Pan That palette for the whole year, and then I'll have a companion palette. I think every 2 months is a good amount of time because I really get to know the palettes that I'm working with. I can potentially hit pan on things in that 2-month period of time, and then I can rotate. So I think I'm going to do it exactly how I did this year, just obviously with the new Focus palette. So let me know what you think about that, and if you have any suggestions on what you think I should pan. I have kind of in my head between the ABH Norvina and my Colourpop singles, which basically came from a variety of Colourpop shade, and those came from a variety of Colourpop palettes. I decluttered the palettes last year. I can link that video if you're interested. And now I just have a Z palette of single shades. So I'm kind of leaning towards panning those single shades, or at least just getting as much use on them as I can. So let me know what you think, because the ABH Norvina, I've got a couple of pans in there. But that is also a little bit newer than the Colourpop. So weighing those two options out, let me know what your opinion is down below. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. So thank you for watching. Happy Vlogmas, and I will see you in tomorrow's upload. Bye.